republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And City Clerk Norris, would you call the roll?
Mayor McClellan.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Here.
Councilmember Radner. Councilmember Weiss.
Here.
Councilmember Edgar.
Here.
We have a quorum. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So approved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The agenda is approved. Next, we have items, routine items that are presented without discussion on the consent agenda. A, regular city council meeting minutes of February 3rd, special council meeting minutes of the same date, Planning Commission meeting minutes of November 12th, Traffic Safety Commission meeting minutes of December 4th and January 8th, request to approve change order number 2 for the 2018 Pocket Parks construction project, M689 to Warren Contractors and Development Incorporated of Shelby Township, Michigan for the amount of $33,342.41, and payment application number 4 to the same for the amount of $126,622.94. F, request to advertise for bids for the city complex fencing project. That's on 9 Mile and behind City Hall. G, licenses, new and renewals is submitted for February 7th. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I don't see elected officials, but we do have special recognition and presentations from the Detroit Institute of Arts. Welcome. Please give us your name and title.
Hi, my name's Julie McFarland. I'm a public affairs officer at the Detroit Institute of Arts, and I just want to start by saying thank you for making time for me on your agenda tonight. The purpose of my visit tonight is to provide an overview of the 4 main ways that the DIA serves the residents of Oakland County, and to highlight a few things specifically that we do right here in Oak Park. After I get through my presentation, I'd be happy to take any questions. Before diving in, though, I just want to talk a little bit about what makes the DIA so special. Every year we welcome thousands of visitors from around the Tri-County and actually around the country and the world to the museum. And people come to the museum for a lot of different reasons. Of course, first to see the art, but they also come to attend live music events, see a film in our historic Detroit Film Theater, participate in art making, drawing in the galleries, and other family events that we have at the museum. We have over 65,000 pieces in the collection. On the slide up there, you just see a few highlights of those. At any given time, we have about 5,500 pieces of art on display. So just to give you an idea kind of the breadth of our collection, you see the Wedding Dance. That's our masterpiece by Peter Bruegel the Elder. That's one of only 2 paintings by this very famous Dutch artist in North America. Our very widely recognized Rivera Court Detroit Industry murals by Mexican mural artist Diego Rivera. Another Dutch artist, Vincent van Gogh. At the time of Vincent van Gogh's death, he was not the famous artist that he is today. We were the first museum in the United States to acquire a Van Gogh, so we were very much ahead of our time in collecting his work. Of course, most people know it's not easy being green, Kermit the Frog. He's from 1969, an original Jim Henson puppet. He is on display right now. If you have time to come down and see him, because he's made out of cloth, he'll only be out for about 4 or 5 months and then go into storage. Across time, we have our Mishushu dragon from 600 BCE, ancient Mesopotamia, right up into something very current, our Benny Andrews collages portrait in our African American gallery. So a huge range of breadth and depth at the museum. So, as many of you probably know, in 2012, the voters of Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb counties passed a millage to support the museum. And with that came agreements. Right after that vote came through, each county established a governing body, and we worked with the governing bodies to put together agreements for services. And this is sort of the core of what I'm going to talk about tonight. So there's 4 areas: free admission to the museum, school field trips, education programs, senior programs, and the community partnership programs. And I'm just going to touch really briefly on each of these 4 areas. We do the governing bodies, we meet with them 3 times a year. We have very specific things we have to report out to them, and then we are audited by an outside firm, comes and does a program audit every year. Those results are published online just to make sure everyone sees that we're doing exactly what we set out to do in the agreements.
Back to that slide for just a second.
Sure.
It said seniors, and Valentine's Day, the rec center had a senior tea, and we had someone from the Art Institute
Oh, good.
come and do their talk with slides about art about love.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so that's our behind the scene. Actually, I think we did about 100 of those in Oakland County last year. Variety of topics, and we have trained volunteers that can come out and give those presentations to groups. So I'm glad someone there is taking advantage of that. So the first area is free admission. That's free, general, unlimited admission every day that the museum is open to the public. You can see we've had over 2 million free visits since the beginning of the millage. School field trips. So these are field trips for students in Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb counties. We have an agreement to provide 16,000 students with free field trips every year. We don't shut that off. Once we hit 16,000, we continue. In Oakland County last year, we had about 22,000 students come on free field trips. So when I say free, of course, that's free admission, and then we provide the transportation as well. That's a real game changer for a lot of communities and schools who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford a trip down to the museum. With that, we have teacher professional development. We had over 10,000 teachers come since 2012 and take advantage of that. It's it can be really light touch things like sneak peeks at exhibitions, or just like a teacher appreciation breakfast, sort of refresh, restore afternoons, to sort of deeper dives into the collection. We have a very popular 3-day visual thinking strategies workshop. And we really work hard with teachers to make sure that their experience in the museum with the students extends into the classroom, so that it's not just a one-day thing. We give them tools and resources to work those experiences into the classroom on an ongoing basis. Our very popular senior program, Thursdays at the Museum. It happens every Thursday. We provide transportation to any senior group of 25 or more who'd like to come down. Individuals certainly are welcome to participate if they want to drive themselves down there, down to the museum. So it's every Thursday. There's a different activity for seniors. We start the month out with tours of the museum. We've had music programs, we've had art bingo, a lot of different activities for seniors. So if they want to come one time, if they want to come the next month, we'll have something different for them. Also, films in the Detroit Film Theater. And they end their visit with a reception of cookies and coffee, and then we transport them back to wherever they came. We had a group from Oak Park last year, congregation Beth Shalom came and participated in this one too. And then our community partnership programs. This is sort of a menu of different programs. There's a few things that we do every year, and then every year we add new things. So this is a mural that we did up in Clarkston. So this is part of our Partners in Public Art program. We also do drop-in workshops at fairs and festivals, all kinds of different programs that we do with nonprofit
Can you
partners.
talk about how we could get one of those?
Yeah, so we're working kind of on a long-term plan for the Partners in Public Art. Last year was the first year that we did 6, so we did 2 in each county. So so you can reach out to me and I can put you in contact with someone in the studio. We tried it a couple years ago and it's really taken root. Communities really like it. So now we're working on just sort of a long-term plan so that we can meet all of those requests, in the next however many. I know we're working in Macomb to do every community. So we have a 10-year plan with them because there's about 25 communities. So anyway, we'd be happy to come
Put us on the list.
Okay, great. And then one community partnership program that you probably might be more familiar with. This is our Inside Out program. Yep, we've been in Oak Park twice. I think we were here in 2014 and 2018. This is a very popular program. As you can see, we have come back to communities 2 and 3 times. So this is one that's available if Oak Park was interested in applying for it again. I think last time we were in this area, right in the municipal building area. Remember the library? So this is...
You had the first time, I think, a picture of a fire in haystacks.
The fire in the haystack,
And I
yeah.
thought, what does that have to do with this metropolitan community? And then I looked a little closer, and everyone was chipping in to help put out the fire, and it was the perfect painting to put on this building.
Placement, that's nice. Yeah, we work really closely with communities when we do that, so that the work that's in your community is sort of reflective of your community. It's something that that's chosen by the community. We don't just come out and put
A
our...
lot of thought went into
yeah.
the selection.
So I think we had a really good partner in Oak Park that really helps too, helps make it relevant and genuine. So that kind of brings me to the end. Those are the 4 main ways that we work with communities in Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County to serve residents. I'd like to emphasize really how transformative this millage has been for the museum. I started at the museum as a docent, probably about 8 years prior to the millage, and then I came on staff, and I really can see sort of the changes in the museum and how we do work, and how we work with the communities. So I just want to thank you for your generous support of the DIA, and also for your time this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do, and keep doing it.
Thank you.
Isn't it?
Get us our mural.
And get us, yeah.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
if I could just say, and I know all this has been said, but the DIA is really
gem.
a gem of our metro area, and I know I personally frequent the museum for the free admission. I've taken students there on free field trips with free bus transportation. We talked about Inside Out, and we've also had the truck come to some of our public events as well. And so we really appreciate and understand the value of the DIA and all that you do for our community. So thank you.
And the mayor has a vote yes sign on her front lawn.
Thank you very much.
Tough act.
Oh. Thank you. This is special recognition and presentation about Safe Routes to School grant. Please. City Manager Tungate will introduce.
I'm going to turn it over to Director Barrett in just a moment, but I have to just salute him for his undying commitment to this project, and what you're about to hear, I hope you will be as happy and enthusiastic about it as I am, because this is just, this is just a great project for the city. So, thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Good evening, Mayor, Council, and City Manager. This is an easy act to follow because I have some great news, a short, brief presentation on our Safe Routes to School project. Here we go. It is. We've been awarded the grant finally. So we started this process back last spring. We're working with MDOT and Michigan Fitness Foundation. We worked with the Shiva Beth-Yehuda schools in the application process, and this all began back in the late winter, early spring of last year. OHM helped us a lot with this project, and Eric truly stated it was a task of undertaking to do all the surveys, do the walking audits, meet the MDOT requirements, and to get to where we're at today of having an actual conditional commitment from MDOT for the grant of $464,000 and $321.
This is an MDOT grant, is that correct?
Pardon me, Mayor?
An MDOT grant.
This is a federally funded grant that's administered through MDOT and the Michigan Fitness Foundation.
And what are you going to spend it on?
Pardon me?
I said, what are you going to spend it on?
This is coming up to our next slide right here.
We're glad you asked because that's.
Very good question. We are going to put in a Hawk single and pedestrian crossing midway between Greenfield and Church on 10 Mile. And what that's going to consist is of a refuge island, a crosswalk, and a Hawk traffic signal, which is a simpler version of a traffic signal. It's just for pedestrians to help them get across the road. And just as part of our walking audit when we were out there, we did notice it was an area of frequent jaywalking, and people always look for the closest crossing, and that was a natural spot, and we didn't have too many conflicts with the other driveways in the area. So that's the most significant improvement right there, is going to have a mid-block crossing with the refuge island.
Excellent.
Also, additionally, we are going at 10 Mile in Church. We're going to redo the traffic signals there, which is going to install a left turn phase signal. Currently, trying to get the kids across the school early in the morning when it's really busy. Traffic's flowing, and then when traffic stops, everybody's making their left turns, and it's still chaos for the kids to get across. So there's going to be a left turn phase installed in there, which is going to give the kids their dedicated time to get across the street in the morning. And that's going to be based off of sensors, so it will be only activated when cars are there waiting to make left turns. Also at Lincoln and Marlow, we're going to, the last picture on this slide down is we're going to install rapid flashing beacons, and we're going to make that intersection a lot safer for the kids to get to school. I should note, as part of our audit and surveying portions of this project, we determined a lot of kids live in the area just north of Lincoln and Marlow, and so that was why we deemed that necessary. And we are also, which isn't listed on the slide, we're going to make some improvements to the existing medians at Greenfield and 10 Mile Road to make them a little bigger and a little safer, because kids are walking from Southfield. And lastly, is in the neighborhood south of 10 Mile, east of Greenfield, we have a half a dozen handicap sidewalk ramps that we're going to improve to make them ADA compliant.
Super news. This, I think I met with the commander of the Michigan State Police in our area, and he was concerned about the safety of pedestrians trying to cross, and a woman pushing a stroller across the street, and this is going to solve that problem.
This will make the area a lot safer to walk in. And lastly, just we're talking a little bit about our proposed schedule. A lot of the hard work was trying to push this through. These projects are typically 3 years out, and we've worked really hard to have this be a 2020 construction season. So we're on the MDOT current schedule to have this a May letting. We're going to have a bid opening in June, and we're going to start construction this summer in
Do you
July.
have a mafia connection to get that date?
It took some wrestling is what it took. And then we're going to have a complete construction in the fall of 2020. A lot of the complete construction is there's going to be lead time for the traffic signal components and so forth, but most of the work will be completed by the fall when school starts.
That's great, great news. Unbelievable.
Proud and thank you. Any questions?
Well, great
Madam
work.
Mayor,
Great work. Who has a question? Yes, ma'am.
could you talk a little bit about the signaling at Lincoln and Merlot? What is that going to look like?
We can go back up to the slide here, and if you look at the bottom picture, it's going to be them rapid they're going to have lights around them, triangle rapid flashing beacons right there. They're going to be solar fed, and they're going to be push button activated, so it'll make a big flash on there, and the crosswalks are going to be emphasized, and we're going to there's 2 crosswalks there, which is confusing and presents a little bit of a dangerous situation. We're going to remove one of the crosswalks, install the rapid flashing beacons, and repaint the road there.
And the left turn phase at Church and 10, will that be for traffic heading left from 10 Mile onto Church?
The left turn phase will be there primarily to accommodate the traffic coming off of 10 Mile to make their turns onto Church Street, because we have traffic backing up in the morning there. And then once the traffic signal stops, they're still trying to get through the intersection, and at the same time, we're trying to have kids negotiate crossing the street safely right there.
Good news about the light, the new flashing light between Church and Greenfield. That'll be a huge help.
Yeah, it's a little different of traffic signal, the Hawk, but once that's all up, we'll roll it out and do some educational systems on there. But I'm really looking forward to it. It's a very exciting project for us.
Excellent.
Yes, Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Okay, the Hawk, what is the purpose? Is it a stop or yield or?
The Hawk, which is, you can go back to the screen here, is the top picture. And it is a less than a traffic signal device that MDOT and the Federal Highway Commission approves. And it's primarily just to get pedestrians safely across the street. We were considering just putting flashing beacons in at this location, but being a 60-foot, 5-lane highway right there, they wanted a Hawk system, which is lights above the intersection to alert the drivers. There's kids in the intersection to stop and let them pass.
And that's going to work better than a light.
Yes.
Okay.
Further questions?
Thank you.
Thank you so
Excellent.
much.
Thank you.
Amazing. That's amazing. That's been a problem since, I don't know, for 20 years.
Kudos
Maybe
to
more.
whoever wrote the grant application.
The team effort with the city staff and OHM, and then the Shiva Bethlehem schools had a large part of performing the survey and signing off.
Okay, great work.
A team effort, it's great. Everybody working together to improve the city.
Beautiful, thank you.
Next, we have not so exciting accounting reports. We need approval.
Extremely exciting.
Yes,
We're paying our lawyers.
We're paying our lawyers. Thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Radner. Approval for payment of invoices submitted by Garen Lukow Miller PC for legal services in the total amount of $16,796.14. I know that we can count on Councilmember Radner for a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Okay. Any discussion?
Best money we could spend is on our lawyers.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns,
Yes.
Councilmember Edgar,
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes,
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
motion carried. There are no bids or ordinances. Is there anything from the city attorney?
Nothing from the city attorney.
Thank you. City Manager Tungate.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. I'd like to ask Public Safety Director Steve Cooper to join me at the podium for 15A, please.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Council, City Manager. I'm coming before you today regarding the decommission of a public safety fire truck. The Department of Public Safety is requesting to have engine number 543 decommissioned. Engine 543 is currently 33 years old and has 3,245 hours of service logged. That's the equivalent to 205,500 road miles. The National Fire Protection Association, NFPA, recommends that the apparatus over 25 years should be replaced. There are several safety features that the truck is not equipped with due to its age. The cost to upgrade such features are extremely costly, and some are not possible due to the age of the apparatus. There are costly repairs that would have to be addressed before the truck could be put into service. Truck is constantly out of service due to continuous repairs, and the truck has exceeded its life expectancy, and to continuously invest in further repairs is not advisable. We currently have 3 other fire engines in service. We're also budgeting to have one of the 3 remaining fire engines replaced in the upcoming future. We have mutual aid agreements with the cities of Berkeley, Huntington Woods, and Beverly Hills Public Safety Department, and with our current fleet of fire trucks and the support of our mutual aid partners, I'm comfortable that the Oak Park Public Safety Department will be able to continue to provide excellent fire protection service to our community in which it has become accustomed to receiving. So I come before council with the recommendation that you approve the request to decommission engine 543 and have the Department of Public Works handle liquidating the apparatus.
Thank you so much. Is there a motion to decommission this engine?
So moved?
Second?
Moved and seconded. Questions or comments? No.
The truck is as old as I am, so it's probably time for it to go.
You're just a puppy. All right. Do we need a roll call vote? Please.
Councilmember Edgar.
Yes.
Mayor McClellan.
Yes.
Councilmember Radner.
Yes.
Councilmember Weiss.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Burns.
Yes.
Okay, unanimous.
Can I buy it? It'll be fun.
Sure.
What happens to old equipment like this?
Well, actually, the Department of Public Works will try and sell it. They're estimating the value. We looked on the internet, it's probably between like $10,000 and $15,000. So,
Forget it.
yeah. New apparatus that style and that size will cost you over $1 million. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Fun for the next parade. Thank
There you
you.
go. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you will enjoy that.
15B, budget calendar, I'm going to take that one. I won't go through each one of these sections, council members, but I did want to point out that we have, believe it or not, now entered into a new budget cycle. I know Director Crawford is excited about that, as I am. We will be entering, I'll just make note here, that we'll be entering into the public portion of the budget beginning on April 20th and ending, hopefully, with City Council's approval of the budget that we recommend on the 18th of May. And I think, as everyone knows, we do a 3-year budget here now. So I wanted to share this with you and make sure you have it.
Thank you. We will save page 15B and put it in our calendars.
And Madam Mayor, members of council, that completes the city manager report for this evening. Thank you.
Super. Thank you so much. Next, we have call to the audience. Please give us your name and limit your comments to 3 minutes. If you have to come up to the mic so that the folks at home can hear you. Thank you.
How do you do?
How do you do?
I'm Andrew. I'm a resident here in
Is
the
that
city.
on?
And
I'm a resident here in the city, and I was here to talk about the water bill. I guess it's by usage, so I'm usually 3 or 2 or 3, around in there. And so I called, I said, wow, this thing appears to be going up higher. And she says, well, we have a minimum of 5. And I says, well, I was thinking that there's a lot of people here that use more than I do. Maybe charge those people more. Those who are in their homes, 55 plus, maybe charge those people less, like me. So for example, this is 117. It should be 71 if I was doing the math right. I don't know what per unit you charge. I'm thinking around 23.47 from what I figured out. So I was thinking there's other ways of generating revenue, like some of the ordinances that other cities have, that maybe those can be enforced more. And again, like for people who are renting out their homes, maybe stick it to them a little bit more than someone who's living in their home 55 plus. And it kind of annoyed me. I've been here for 20 years, since 1999. That's when I first moved here, and I've been here ever since. But there's just people renting out their places and just making profits, and I feel that those people should be stick with a bigger bill than an owner who's been in this home for a long time, especially 55 plus, because everybody has limited budgets, and so we can't just keep paying higher and higher water bills. And I looked at my history, and I saw it was like $52, I believe I was paying at first, and then it just slowly creeped up to this. So it just kind of really bothered me enough to drive over here and kind of speak that. And then maybe, like I said, there's noise.
Would you call the city manager tomorrow, and he will give you his card?
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it. The water bills are a sore topic for many people. From what we've been told from the area water billing commissioners, we can expect it creeping up all the time. It's not good news. It's just the cost of the water is, and the upkeep for the infrastructure constantly increases, and nobody's happy.
Well, I can understand that, like I looked at some of the other bills, and they're up there. I said, wow, they're using a lot of water. And I was thinking maybe for those who are doing that, maybe just a little bit more for them. And someone like myself who's using 2 or 3, maybe a little bit less. And I'm sure there's other single people that are using very little, probably feel the same way, just hadn't had the time. And I keep forgetting to come up here, so I've been meaning to do this for a while.
Glad you came.
And today I said, I'm just going to make it, when I got this, I said, I'm going to make it a point to
City
come up.
Manager Tungate, did you want to say?
I was just going to say, thank you for your comments. If you call me tomorrow, that is my direct office number on my card there. If you call me, I will go through your bill with you specifically and look at all the details of it to make sure it's accurate.
It's the timer.
Oh,
I see. I was trying to help her. Oh.
he's so helpful. Do you find it?
And so I was thinking too, like with other cities, like you can enforce more other things like noise ordinances.
Yeah, yeah. We have a 3-minute limit,
Oh,
but he
oh.
does not.
Oh.
So please give him a call.
If a person was talking about other subjects, do I have to come back or something, or?
No, it's 3 minutes
Oh.
period, but you can speak to him unlimited time.
Oh, okay. All right. That was just,
Thank you for coming. Appreciate it so much.
yes, you're welcome. Thank you. I guess the other guys talk.
Anybody else? No? Let's see, we have Mayor Pro Tem Burns. Do you have any comments for us?
Yes, I just wanted to say that at last Monday's Planning Commission meeting, we okayed to receive plans for a new brewery on 11 Mile,
Good job.
the Dog and Pony Brewery. It's the second one, that's correct. It's going to be on 11 Mile, so I'm looking forward to that one. And it will be open, and every different person can attend it, because it's not going to be serving food. They're going to have food trucks. So our different communities can come out and enjoy the different beers. So that's going to be great. Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. Date? When's the date?
We don't have an open date yet. They just presented the planning committee with their plans last Monday, which were approved.
Thank you. Excellent. Thank you so much. Councilmember Radner.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councilmember Weiss.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to, I know we've said this many times, but it just bears repeating, remind everyone that the census is coming soon. It is critically important that you fill it out for many reasons. Our representation is determined by it, and also funding. For every person that does not fill it out, local communities lose about $1,800 a year or $18,000 annually. So it's critically important that every person in our city is counted, so we have adequate representation and adequate funding to provide services for all of our residents. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you. Councilmember Edgar.
Good evening, everyone. In the last few weeks, we've heard about 2 new establishments. One, a kosher restaurant that will go on Greenfield, and then today, a new brewery on 11 Mile. It's all good news. We heard a little bit about our community visioning feedback in an earlier meeting tonight, and we had close to 400 residents tell us a little bit about what they want to see. But one of the things that people really would like to see in Oak Park is new business. So that's happening, and I'm very pleased about it. Thank you. Good night.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Just if you're taking notes for your calendar, February 28th from 5 to 8, there's an event. Our police officers are going to be playing some teenagers in basketball, and they are afraid they might get whooped, and so we'd like to come out and cheer them on. There's February 28th at 5 o'clock until 8. It costs $5 to get in for the basketball, and that benefits the guys that are mentoring these students. But there's also going to be a food court, and our local businesses are donating the food, and we're charging like $1 an item. You can buy 5 tickets at $1 each, and maybe get a papusa from the Salvadoran restaurant and chicken wings from another one, and it's going to be a great event. Come on out and support these guys. For those of you who like numbers, February's, the first Sunday in February, the date was 02/02/2020, where our favorite road, the groundhog, forecasting an early spring, and I'm ready for it right now. We're also in the middle of Black History Month, and we celebrate the courage and many accomplishments of our African American residents. It's been 150 years since the 15th Amendment recognized African American men's right to vote. Women had to wait another 50 years. We remember when the Greensboro Four had to wait at that lunch counter in that southern state. It took a lot of courage. We remember Harriet Tubman, a young woman who escaped slavery but went back and rescued others. And February 11th. Winterfest was astoundingly wonderful, lots of fun. The Valentine's tea that was put on by our rec department was just great. And as I said earlier, they had someone from the DIA with slides from items in the museum. That was great. Another date I'd like you to write down would be Tuesday, March 10th. It's the presidential primary that we've been hearing about so often. You can vote absentee without an excuse. You don't have to be a senior anymore. You can be young, going to work, a young parent. It's just an extremely easy way to get your voting done. So fill in a request for an absentee ballot and send it in. And you can be on the permanent list, and then you don't even have to think about it. They mail you this all the time. If you're concerned about the coronavirus, it's not a big issue here right now, but there is updated information on the website for Oakland County. Don't worry, get the facts. Fraud alert. There are lots of scams targeting seniors. Be really alert about them. Don't give anybody your information over the phone unless you call them first. The IRS does not call you and threaten you. Medicare or Social Security do not call you or threaten you. Be suspicious of unsolicited contacts. Stay alert out there, people. And your library needs you. There's another Friends of the Library meeting Thursday, March 12th at 7 o'clock in the community center. We need to raise money and get some great things going in our library. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming out. Have a great week, and we'll see you at the next meeting. Yeah, and we're gonna have